we had an aborted landing. Previously on all of the liquids, which we're not gonna say what it was. I don't have one. I lost it. Left with the bags and left the baby is technically theft. Who should know where their seat is? Me. Hey crew, welcome back to my channel for another flight attendant vlog. For those of you who are new, my name is Bridgette. I'm a New York City based flight attendant and I am back in the airport. I was sitting airport standby. I'm on call for 3 days and I was assigned a 2-day San Francisco trip. So it is it's almost 4:40 and my sign-in is at 4:50. So I'm sitting at a semi-empty gate waiting for the plane to deplane and then make my way onto the plane. As you guys know, I'm not too fond of West Coast trips, but when you're on call, you don't get to pick what you are going to work, so I'm working what I was given. Other than that, I will speak to you guys again probably once I get to the hotel, so see you in the next clip.
It's not that I want you here, yeah. It's something about the way you say it to my eyes. I know that it'll make me feel.
Hey crew, so obviously it was the next day. It is day 2 of 3 being on call. And last night I did not have the energy to come back and speak to you guys. So we're here today. I know I told you guys that I was working a flight to San Francisco. So we are in San Francisco. It is 9:59. I have to leave in 15 minutes to go catch the shuttle back to the airport to work the flight back to JFK. Let me look at my notes. To start off with, I can't remember if I told you guys yesterday when I opened the vlog, but on my commuting flight, we had an aborted landing. And for those of you who are not familiar, it is like when they attempt to land, but conditions may not be good or something is going on and they abort. So they go right back up into the air. So yesterday it was weather. So that's why our landing was aborted. It took a long time to get from DC to New York. And for those of you familiar with that flight time, it's only like 45 minutes at the most. So it took an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get there, which is crazy. Why isn't this charging? That's it for my commute. The flight here was 5 hours and 22 minutes, which isn't bad for San Francisco, but if you ask a person like me who doesn't like to work West Coast, it's bad. It was majority full, but there was a few open seats. And for the most part, the passengers were really nice. No problems. Clearly, it's me who's on the struggle bus. I'm sitting in my jump seat yesterday, just like going through like my mental check. And I noticed, I was like, I don't remember putting my glasses in my bag. For those of you who don't know, I wear glasses and contacts, and I forgot to put them in my bag. I have the glasses case, but there's no glasses in it, which makes sense. So I was on the struggle bus today because my contacts are daily, meaning that, well, you shouldn't sleep in contacts at all, but meaning that at the end of the day, I throw them out. So yeah, that was a struggle for me. I think that is it for recruiting briefing for yesterday. I still have one more on-call day tomorrow. I did put it up for drop, wishful thinking that someone would pick it up. Knock on wood. As of right now, they still have not assigned me anything for tomorrow, but I will keep you guys updated. So I will see you guys in the next clip. So it is 2 days after being on call, and I think the last time I spoke to you guys was before leaving San Francisco to come back to JFK, and then after that I came home. Let me check my notes to make sure nothing happened on. Oh, so on the flight, it was fairly full For the most part, there were a few open seats. We were going through doing our first service, and I went to this older gentleman, and, you know, I was asking him, would you like anything to drink? So he starts explaining to me that he cannot hear, there's no sound coming through his entertainment system, which is called an IFE. So I was like, okay, well, was it working before? You know, asking certain questions to see if we could probably get to the root of the problem. And he's like, yeah, I was hearing sound before, but as soon as the announcement started, like once it finished, I didn't hear anything else. And I said, did you try turning up the volume? He's like, yeah, the volume's turned all the way up. While I'm asking him that, the lady sitting next to him, which I assume is his wife, turns and looks at him and was like, you can't hear anything because it's not plugged in, and holds up his headphone jack. It was never into the IFE system. So we both look at each other and we burst out laughing. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't, I should have looked before I talked. I'm really sorry. And I was just like, it's okay. It was an honest mistake. So that was a little funny encounter that we had. Then, for the most part, the flight was uneventful. After that, I was looking at my schedule, and I knew what my next trip was going to be. But let me preface by saying I had a migraine. So we're sitting there and I'm looking on my work schedule, and I look at the date that, you know, my next trip is supposed to be, and the trip that is there is not the trip that I had. So I'm like, am I losing my mind? Like, what's going on? But if I can give you guys one tip and one tip only, my recommendation is to screenshot everything. Have receipts, have proof, have documents upon documents upon documents. When your schedule comes out, if there's a change, if there anything, you need to have screenshots of everything. Because unfortunately, in some cases, it's your word against theirs, and a lot of the times they do not take your word. Like, they don't take your word for it, basically. So I go back to my screenshots, and sure enough, I wasn't crazy. Someone swapped my trip without my permission. Now, I want to say that, you know, mistakes happen. We're all human beings, and it is human nature to automatically think, you know, some people are being malicious or they did it with ill intent, but that may not always be the case. My airline has hired a lot of flight attendants in a short amount of time, and being a new hire flight attendant, it is a lot to take in, especially if you haven't been in the industry prior. And even if you have been in the industry, each airline is different. So a newer flight attendant swapped my trip with their trip without my permission, and I was just more concerned. Obviously, I don't want to say mad, but I was annoyed because, you know, that's not the procedure we go through. But once I found out their seniority number and a lot more information, I was just more concerned about getting my trip back, because there was a short amount of time in between that trip and my next trip. And I've heard horror stories of people not being able to get their trip backs. Mind you, this is not a first-time experience. It's a first-time experience for me, but it is not new. Like, this has been unfortunately happening a lot. So I just want to say, if you are unsure of something before you do it, please get clarification instead of just doing it and see what happens next, you know? Because it would be unfortunate for you to do something and then repercussions afterwards are severe, especially being on probation. Beside the fact, I got my trip back. The person was apologetic. They said they did not know, but it kind of was like a frantic moment for me on my side. Other than that, the trip was fine. I had 2 days off, and I work again tomorrow, but that will be in its own separate vlog. So if you've made it to the end of this vlog, thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay safe and see you soon.